morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on the planet. Mm. Oh my, that's good coffee. It's my free ethical bean coffee. I found out if you go to the liquor store here, they give you something free when you buy something, but you got to ask. So I wait till my friends show up that want alcohol. So I tell them, let's go over there and you can buy it there and I'll get something free. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So they gave me this time, they gave me ethical bean coffee, a package. Good deal, free. Yep. Mm. And giving me hats, all kind of stuff. Yep. Air fresheners for the car, coffee mugs, several different kinds of hats. I didn't like the hat, but there was one good fishing hat, but I gave that away too. And, yeah, I like this hat. Got a little dirt there, a little scuff there. Well, I hope I hit the public button. Sometimes I don't. Mm. Wow. All you get to see is the hummingbird. Well, hello. Good morning. I got some sockeye salmon fresh from Haida Gwaii, already canned, and some is smoked. I've picked a lot of apples, filled all the crispers in the refrigerators because that's the best place to store the apples. I have two kinds stored so far, a honey crisp and a golden apple. That's really nice. And I'm going to be harvesting today. I'll be harvesting a Fuji apple from Japan. It's so loaded, it tipped over. So I have to write it. So here's the pole here, up and down like that. So, and it's leaning like this. So on this side, I'll dig it out a little bit. And then I'll be able to write it back up. But I'm going to take all the apples off too. There's like 1,000,000 apples on there. I'm not kidding. There's so many apples, the tree fell over. I've seen that before here though. But now this is twice I'll be writing this apple tree. It's a Fuji apple. It's not a very tall tree. So Northern Girl Hobbies, Jen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, good to see you, Jen. Very cool channel. I think I've watched a lot of your videos. Yeah, love your dogs. And you go out there and you forage and you fish and you hunt and you do good. Yeah, smart. It's where that's the real nutrients. You know, if you're using chemicals to grow food and stuff, and not that I'm not trying to knock it or anything, but you know, you bet here with Dave. Dave's here. Oh, Dave's visiting you. Yes, he's a really great guy. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yep. He's got his van. He's mobile. Hey, he sent me some stuff that I watched on my email, and it showed his van all decked out, and he was camping. Dave is here. Nice. Really good guy. Well, good people hang out together. Good Jen and good Dave. That's awesome. I've got my salmon from Haida Gwaii. Fresh from Haida Gwaii. It's all canned. One is smoked. One is fresh. You know, like just salmon in there. And then I've got some dried salmon. I didn't do it. Danny Lorraine, welcome. Hey, I got to go get my salmon and show you I'll show it. Yeah. This is really nice stuff. This is smoked salmon from Haida Gwaii. Yeah. Nice color, hey? Beautiful. I love this. This is good stuff here. This is just regular salmon with a little bit of salt, a little bit of vinegar. 5/20/25. So, it's not too long ago. Looks like spring salmon. This is done by people that know what they're doing. And then I've got this dried stuff. Salmon. Oh yeah, check this out. This is the dried salmon, slightly smoked with alderwood. I've had this many times. It's great. You put a little cream or butter on it, put it on a rye cracker from Germany, and some dill pickle. I'm good to go for an hour or two of hard work. Yeah. I'll even take a piece. The stuff's it's better than anything you'll ever eat. But see, food from the store, it's all good, right? Probably live on it, but it's not the best. The best is wild or organic. Hey, Mr. Knight's here. Hi, Howie from Jen's place. Yeah, wow, you guys got to hang out. Cool. That's way cool. Yeah, you both are earth warriors, see? You both grow food. You both go get your food. Smart. Well, you guys look healthy all the time. Yep. That looks so good. Yeah. Hey, Daddy Lorraine. Welcome. Good to see you. So excited about the salmon showing up because you wait all year for that. Hey, it's like, oh, then you kind of hang on to it as long as you can because the canned stuff is, it's all right, but it's not like the smoked salmon. I've got smoked salmon too, my own. I didn't do this stuff though. Someone else did. Wild is always the best. Yep. Yeah, I have frozen packets of my own smoked sockeye. I use alder and an apple and that kind of thing, and that's how I smoke mine. And I make stuff from mine, like fish cakes. I add a little bit to the fish cakes, like if I'm making salmon cakes, salmon crab cakes, something like that. I like a cherry jelly on it too, like when it's done. So I like making blueberry jelly too and putting that on there. Today I'm having lamb. It was frozen lamb, but it was staked up. But I'm righting a tree today. The tree fell over. It's so heavy. Like it's only like about 7 foot tall tree. It's not really a tall tree, but it's a bushy tree. It's a Fuji apple from Japan. It's so loaded with apples this year. It fell on the ground. All the apples are all sitting on the ground. You can see where the rabbits and mice have come in and slugged. I found a slug. I got a video too, but I have a problem with this computer uploading it because there's no storage space or something. So, but yeah, that sounds so good. Yeah, wild's always best. You bet, there, Danny Lorraine. Yeah, it tastes good. I'm not trying to knock anybody that's growing with chemicals. Okay, I'm just saying I prefer not. But if I had to, I'd eat them too, right? Because you're hungry, right? But I'm really stepping away totally. I believe I have from anything from that store. I'm not into it anymore. Opening of bird season, no chemicals for growing. Oh, yeah, no chemicals. Yeah, that shit stays in the soil, Roundup and all this crap, man. It's just, but the thing is, what it does to human beings and animals and bugs, holy, do we really need it, I'm not knocking it if someone's using it, though, but I mean, do your research, check it out, think about it. Put a sunflower beside your pillow and ask yourself, is this healthy? And when you wake up in the morning, you'll know the answer. I already know the answer, but that's one way of de-stressing it. But birds are good eating, and I like watching birds too. Like if there's overabundance of birds, I mean, why not harvest them? But I love bird watching. It's one of my favorite things to do. Just watch the birds. At my feeder, the hummingbirds, and then I have a suet in log. I've taken a tip of a spruce tree, and I got that where I just gum all around it with suet. I put it there, and when the different birds show up, I've got them all named now. All the birds. I know what they're what they're called and stuff. But it's really nice if you can get like a kingfisher to come by or something cool, right? But there's always these juncos, robins, and the robins are really cool. And 3 days ago, I had a flock of quail, those California quail. They're right next door, and they were eating over there where they sprayed. And I'm like, crap, come to the food forest. But I realized they're eating the little gravel, I guess for digestion in their gizzard. But I seen them eating the little gravel. I'm like, oh. But they were eating right there where that lady goes crazy with the Kilex and all that shit. I'm like, oh man, but they do come in here sometimes. Good morning, Vay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Opening, lots of grouse here this year. I bet. Hey, yeah, lots of ptarmigan. Eh, there's lots of quail here this year. I've seen up to 50 come in a flock but they come in from the neighbor. The neighbor's a bird guy too. Well, a couple of houses down, they have like bird feeders, and they have massive spillage on this large concrete pad. So all the little quail just love going there. And then his kid plays music, and the birds are all there. It's like, holy gee, the holy grail of gardens here. Yeah. I've received several gifts from him of food they grew over the years, and I give them stuff too, like goji berries and stuff. They're pretty quiet people. Nice new house they just had built. It's a few houses down, but now another house is being built across the street. The Secret Garden lady's house is going to be bulldozed soon. It's too bad. What a beautiful place, man. Sad. Well, will be missed. And Bay's here. Happy coffee, happy human. my free ethical bean coffee. I got a package for free. That's a good deal. I love that word. 4-letter word. But it's coho season now. They're all coming in the rivers here from now to about end of October. And the cohos will be coming in. Chums too. I love smoked chum. Oh my God, it's good. Smoked and hot smoked. I like hot smoke. I like cold smoke too. It's a lot of work though to do. But I'm converting a smoker here pretty quick. Yeah, they burn out unless they're stainless steel. I'm pretty good. I always use like a cedar like shed like thing. Just lit the fire on the floor for real and just got it going in there. One time, this was like when I was young. It's a native guy that had it built. It was all cedar, and he'd get a truckload of salmon. We'd go and fill it up. Fire department showed up. We gave them all salmon, and they went away. I've done that like a 3 times now over the years. Just give them a sockeye chunk or something. You got that right, Howie? Howie, coffee. Yeah, I love my coffee or tea. I'll take a tea too. I don't mind tea and trout. Like fried trout, I want a cup of tea with it. Yeah. Just like this, just perfect pairing of twinnings. But yeah, today I'm going to be harvesting apples, Fuji apples. I'm going to pick them all, put them in crates, and then I'm going to put them in my back pantry laundry room. I've cordoned off a spot to put all the extra apples because I've noticed I'm eating a lot more apples now ever since that I've super learned that 2 apples a day is better than 1. Hey, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Yep, chew it lots too. Apples are amazing, but again, with all the sprays and stuff, even washing the apple. I mean, why would you wash your food? I don't wash my wild food, and I don't wash like food from the food forest. I'm like, what? Like, you're washing away all the good microbes? No way, man. So I've been eating kimchi, and I've been eating sauerkraut, kefir, stuff like that. Just rinse away the bugs. Wow. Well, I can just, you know, rub it on my shirt if there's a bug on it or something. Peach tea is great. Yeah, I have some still from my sister from 5 years ago. Good morning, Mandy. Hello, hello, hello. Just talking about some dried sliced sockeye from Haida Gwaii. Yeah, look how thin it is, hey. And harvest, you know what it's harvest season. So what are you all harvesting, right? Like, that's the you wait all year for that harvest. Yeah, we were given a coho yesterday. It is delicious. I know, right? It's got the perfect oil consistency. Springs is pretty good for that too. Pinks are probably the worst. They fall apart. Don't try. If you're eating a fresh pink, you're okay. As soon as it's not fresh, it's not okay. It's like corn. As soon as you buy a corn, okay, was it picked 30 minutes ago? No. Okay, there's sweetness is converting to starch right away, right? So it's like potatoes at the ground. If when you get your potatoes at the ground, you eating them right away, or do you eat them later? So when you go buy them, obviously it's later. It's nowhere near the taste. It's all in the taste. So I picked up 5 free cedar boards for cooking on. I have those, so I want to really put on a fresh piece of coho onto it. I slice, boom. You dip that cedar board in some water first. Hey, thanks for all the thumbs up. Bet that tastes wonderful. Yeah, coho. Hey, Mandy. Whoa, that's delicious. Very healthy. That's the healthiest food on the planet right now, unless you can get like free range chicken or beef or a wild boar. Hey, Vince, how's it going there, Retro Game War? welcome, welcome, Vince. But today I have to write an apple tree, and I'll get, I don't know, 100 or so pounds of apples off that tree easy. It's only like a little 5-foot tree. Oh no, it's about 7-foot tree actually, but it was a small tree when I bought it a few years ago. Now it's just bushed out. It's not tall, and it grew up like this. Now it's sitting on the ground, and all the apples that were hanging in the tree are all on the ground, and you can see where the animals are attacking it. Hey, it's like, ooh, right? So that's pretty cool. We were given a coho yesterday. Well, you can catch them from shore with like red devils, anything spinner, lure, like a lure or an apex or anything like that, or stingzalda, like a red stingzalda. They'll grab that. And there's cohos. They'll be going up. That's middle of September now, so yeah, they'll be going up to in October upstream. But they're all in the mouth now. Howie, did you see my reply to you on someone's video that was picking chanterelles? Yeah. No, I haven't seen it, but I did watch 2 chanterelle videos. I've been following that channel since it was called VI Prepper. Didn't know you followed them as well. Oh, yeah. 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 They go out, they catch trout, pick strawberries. They do all the cool things, pick shanties. I like white shanties. Them are my favorite. They're super, super sweet. White chanterelle. There's white and orangey colored looking one. And well, there's false ones too, and they're not so good. But but yeah, the lobster mushrooms out right now. Cauliflower mushrooms out right now, but they're only small. You need a nice big rain, and they'll get big fat cauliflower mushrooms, and it looks just like a cauliflower. The only problem with them is that it's all the critters that crawl inside for a meal. So what you have to do is you take your bucket, your 5-gallon bucket, fill it with water and salt, and put it in there, and they'll all come out of there. They'll all float right out of there, And went for lobsters with Dave the other day. Nice. Now, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. Mushroom world, it's worth finding someone that knows what they're doing and just follow them around, right? Make them a sandwich, carry their chair for them, whatever. This one lady, she is in her late 80s, and she picked 100 pounds of champignon in here, like those Money's mushrooms, but they're champignons. They're like, she because of the different little farmers markets, she tends to go to the wooded areas there, and bing bada boom. And too bad, person's passed on now. Man, I got a lot of mushrooms. But there's some look-alike mushrooms. You really know what you got to do. Right now here, the big harvest is black huckleberries, and that's what I'm hitting up today. Is I know some bushes down by this huge park, and it's just on the outside of the park, and there's these bushes, and they have tapped in somehow to the underground water source because they really like underground water. If they don't have a water source, they tend not to get too big. So yeah, I have several black huckleberry bushes growing now, all from the same lady that gave them to me. One was huge, she gave me, so I put it on the Permaculture mound. That sure generated a lot of people. And then when everything was free on there, all the squash and stuff, I thought of videotaping it. No, some people probably wouldn't like that. But it didn't last more than 48 hours since everything was free right up the front there. And I pumped out a ton of squash. I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of all different squash. And I kept what I wanted, like my kombucha and my Hubbard and a few Mauro and spaghetti squash. I kept, but all the rest just boom. I think there's like 3 maybe left there, 4 of pumpkins. So it's interesting. People were eating them. I said, "What are you doing with them?" When they were picking them up, right? And I made sure to say, "Hey, you should just take one because there's going to be a lot of people, right?" And one guy, he took 3, and I'm like, "Well, it's 3 different ones. I can let that go." I said. He's like, "Well, I got to try them," and I'm like, "Well, we can let it go because not all 3 are the same." Hey, he's just looking me over because he looks like a forager scrounger guy. And that's my favorite. When I go in foraging, scrounging mode, I'll be eating clams and oysters and crab right from the ocean. Thank God that the sewer has been gone for like probably 4 years now. The sewer's gone. Hey, it's got to do something there. I mean, the pipe went way out into Harrow Strait, but still, we knew when it overflowed, it would overflow the system, so it would just get pumped directly right out there. And when I went to a hotel on the west coast here, they had somebody in them bays one person picking up what floats to the surface and comes onto their pristine beach. So I got to looking at it. Where's the sewage going? Because I don't see any sewage treatment plants around here. Right? I looked around and I'm like, that's not so good. I did go out there and try to fish, but the surf was just crazy. I mean, it was crazy. It was throwing logs up off of the ocean. I'm like, oh, that's stupid. So I didn't stay there. So, but I got my camera wet. I did get video of a bear, a little tiny bear, and another little tiny bear over some, but not very good on the video. But I am unable to recover it. There's an image problem on it. I'm like, what? And I thought I had it on my phone camera, but I don't. It's on the camera that got a little wet. So I got to do something with that. Upgrade. Went for lobsters with Dave the other day. You're very lucky. Very lucky. We don't have lobsters out here, which we're very unlucky. We have lobster mushrooms, but we don't have the actual lobster. I thought about it, buy a dozen of them and just release them in the bay here. Am I just feeding the otters or what? Because there's a big trench out there, but some people, put the programming out. It's the wrong salinity and it's wrong this and wrong that. Well, the only way you're going to find out for sure is just chuck a bunch out there and see what happens in a few years, right? Hopefully they're not all males or something. Was at Upana Caves. Oh, nice. Had fun taking photos of all the mushrooms and also picked a few huckleberry here and there. Yep. Yeah, there's black huckleberry, for sure. Maybe even, no, I don't know. I don't think there'd be pink ones or orangey red ones, depending on where you buy them. The biggest huckleberries I've ever seen was at Myra Creek waterfalls. And there's this huge waterfalls that come down this mountain. And it's up in Strathcona Park. And they're big as marbles and bigger. And they were growing all along the waterfall. I didn't care. I went right out there and I was just eating them. There were gobs of them. I'm like, geez, man, I'm in heaven here. I didn't get a video. But, when you get into that huckleberry bush, man, it's just like, yum. But thimbleberries, they're pretty good. They're all done. Salmon berries are all done. Vase Place. Welcome. Good to see you. And I know you've been here a while. Yeah, but berry picking is really fun. Hey, that's the special magic of the year, special time. For me, it's my downtime where I'm just in awe. And I sometimes I'll eat a few. Sometimes I won't eat any and I'm fasting or I'm picking a bunch to make something with it. But here on the wild West Coast, there's a lot of wild berries that are not utilized. Like there's more blackberries here than anywhere else in the world, man. Like billions and billions of pounds of them growing. Salal berries, a ton. Wherever you go into a forest, there's salal berries. Now, some are loaded. Okay, ones that are attached to a log, the salal berries that are attached to a log or a stump, those are loaded. Now, the other ones are sparse here and there, and then you get bunches too. But when it's attached to the feeder log or feeder stump, God, I don't like that word, feeder stump, but that's where you get the most, right? And then raspberries, they grow here in bunches, wild ones. They got the Malahat red out here. I mean, this thing's huge. It's not quite the size of a golf ball, but you'd think it is. They're like massive Malahat reds. And we've got blueberries here, high bush blueberry oval ones and black, and then we got Alaskan oval one, but then we got these other ones that are shorter ones. There's like 3 different kinds of blueberries here that grow wild. And then I've harvested bilberries here. It's really weird because the bilberries are growing in a stump in a swamp. I'm like, what? And you can't transplant them. I tried, but they just died. I'm crocheting myself a sweater while listening. Yeah, it's harvest season. What are you harvesting, Vane? Yep. Crocheting. Cool. I'm going to grab another coffee and another salmon. And there's the salmon. Numbers. Sure beats that canned stuff. Not harvesting my sweet potatoes yet. No. You had a tour come through that wanted to see the food for us. So there was a family and couple that came through. They were pretty amazed at everything. And they had fun time. They're pretty fun people. One guy was into engineering, building things, and the lady, she was into accounting and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Coffee walks and whatever. Welcome, oh, welcome. Good to see you again. Yeah, just chatting about harvesting, foraging, that kind of thing, fishing, gathering, whatever you want to call it, wildcrafting. And it's that time of year, right? So for myself, I'm writing an apple tree today, and a few other things I have to do. But my biggest thing is to take all the apples off the tree and then right it. And I'll have to dig a little bit of a trench on one side so it can right back up, because all the apples are on the ground and it's holding the apple tree there. I noticed it going over as they grew. The more and more apples, the bigger they got. I'm like, okay, she's gonna go, but it was too late. I went out there and I thought, I better go out there and put a support underneath this to hold up. But I went out there just totally on the ground. I was just like, wow. So I'll write that when the cambium is flowing. You know, you want it to be a little pliable when you write it back up. You don't want to try to write that on a cold morning or something like that. It's about a 6-year-old Fuji apple from Japan. I really like the apple because it stores forever. Like it, and it doesn't bruise easily. And that's one of the big things. If you get a good apple, it's hard to store an apple unless you pick it a couple of weeks early before it ripens. Then you can get them to last longer. But as soon as an apple ripens, it starts deteriorating and it starts getting sugary. But I'm going to do some apple cider vinegar, some of my own this year. Got a couple of glass jars for that. I'll be doing that. It's expensive. It's like $12 for a liter of, like whatever you're buying. I like to buy in glass, but some people, they'll buy in plastic and whatever. Trying to minimize any cross contamination stuff from outside sources, because just because there's an ingredients list on something, that's factory food, man. And with factory industrial complex, there's contaminants, and it's just not pure. Coffee walks and whatever. Good morning. Yes, welcome. So we're just chatting about what you're harvesting, Dave. You'll be getting home soon to your harvest. I guess you've harvested already. More harvesting videos. I find they're exciting to do. My fig harvest is done. I have 1 or 2 figs left on a couple of bushes here. That's all done. I've picked all my Honeycrisp apples. I don't have to pick. I don't have to dig out my spuds. Just get them when I want. And I've resown the hugelkultur mound, right? And I resowed all that, direct sow. And I kept it wet for a couple of days here and there, but now we're getting rain, so I don't have to do that anymore. And I noticed the deer have come in and rabbits, and they've eaten some of the bunches. So what I did is on the hugelkultur mound, I just splattered it with everything that I could think of jamming in there, from garlic to parsley to radish, lettuce, onions. And I jammed it in there. I knew there's going to be fatalities, right? And it's as simple as that. I don't have any weeds. No weeds grew from when I took back the squash off the hugelkultur mound. And so that's good. But when I sewed it up, I really packed it in there. And it's going to be interesting to see what grows on there. Lots of people have stopped. It's a little bit of a bicycle route here. So they stop and they're like, look at this, and they all want a little piece of it, right? And they're, I just live down here. I just live up here. Okay. Scuba Steve, welcome. Good to see you, Scuba Steve. Yep. How much does Gardner Scott's live? How much does gardening really cost? Question and answer. Gardner Scott's live. Wonderful. Good channel. Oops, I didn't want to go there. Sorry. I mean, I will after this is over. I'll drop by and say hello. Saying hi to Steve. Yeah. So the continuous harvest, like I'm putting up the greenhouse here pretty quick and putting this wood stove in, and I'll be growing all year round in there. I've got a couple of I got a yuzu lemon and a calamondin that I'm going to permanently have in there. But I'm going to do a couple sneaky little things. I can't have the root system freezing. So on this one corner of the place, I'm going to try to figure out putting a heating cable in the ground. It should be okay. I'm at work working. Just letting you know why I'm not too active in chat. Well, you're missed. Happy Mac. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So, yeah, that's some of the lineup that I've got going on for the next few weeks to a few months, is just to get more food out of the food forest floor than just what I'm getting out of my norm. I should say norm. Yeah. Hey, thanks for all those thumbs up. That's great. And but a continuous flow of foods that I'm going to use. Now, if I get excess, and I generally always do, not trying to float my boat or anything, but it is what it is. And I mean, I do have crop failures, like once, like in 1969 or something. I'm just kidding. But I'm in a really unique area. I'm in a rain shadow here. So I'm really protected in the cove here, and then I'm underneath like a cliff. So, but it kind of minimizes like 2 or 3 hours of light I lose every day, and then I lose 2 or 3 hours in the morning because of the tree line here. So to get that precious few hours of light is just amazing. And then to see, like this year, I got a lot of tomatoes, man. I got that big beefsteak tomatoes like that. Like, I mean, just monsters, like 3-4 pounders. Those are good. You just slice them. Well, maybe not 3-4, maybe 2 or 3 pounders. I better not stretch the tomato here. But they're good size. I really am impressed with them. But next year, I'm really going hard on the corn maters. Yeah. Good morning, Happy Mac. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. So I've harvested a lot of stuff. I've put a lot of stuff away. I froze some Brussels sprouts. I chopped up some kale and froze that. I just like frozen kale. I mean, it just breaks it down a little easier when you go to cook it. And then I harvested my garlic, which I got several hundred garlic. I'm like, some are like little tiny ones and some are monsters. So I've been replanting that the past month. I run out there, planted the mound with garlic, and I planted the forest floor in the back here with garlic. Corn, I've seen some beautiful breeds in that. Yeah. Though I have a purple blue corn. It's very blue colored, kind of towards purplish colored. So I saved the corn from that because the rabbits and deer came in and just slaughtered it. So instead of just putting one line of corn there, what I'm thinking is I'm just going to cover the entire mound. That way, something might make it. And that seems to be like, if you overgrow the system, it seems to, you get a bunch. Instead of trying to, put one little corn stalk out there for a smorgasbord for, I've even seen squirrels, rats, rabbits, deer, dogs, cat go and chew on hey, Mick, how's it going, buddy? Or Nick, depending on who it is. Yeah, don't know, but there you go. Boomba. I go to Mick and Nick's channel. They go do a lot of fishing. Very cool people too. They're really nice, hey? And they're cool. Yeah. So if you want a cool place on Saturday mornings, I think it's Saturday mornings or something like that. And Vase too is on Saturday mornings, pretty much the same time. There's a few cool channels on Saturday morning. I like it. Cheers. A right touch of fishing. Yeah, good channel. It's fun there. I read the chat and what everybody's doing and who they are, and different little groups all come in there because Nick and Mick, they don't discriminate. They like everybody. Hey, they love everyone. They're very cool people. I've even seen some people from this chat there that other than the Mick and Nick at Right Touch of Fishing, I've seen other people that are coming in this chat at theirs. So that's pretty cool, right? That's very cool. And he catches a lot of fish, man. He lets most of them go that I know of. Someone should send him a fish smoker, man. Because some of those carp and sea perch and stuff that you're catching, or bass and sea bass, they're pretty good fish. They're good smoked. They're delicious. And then there's those, there's these ones over in that you can catch. There's ocean trout. I don't know if you ever caught them before. And they use nets on. There's very little of it going on anymore, but they're like salmon, like Atlantic salmon kind of thing. But they go up the rivers over there in the United Kingdom. Yeah, we all help each other out. Yeah. I love fishing. Hey, I mean, if you catch a fish, you're pretty sure that you're not going to be hungry, right? People don't think of it, but it's very tasty making fish jerky. I know, right? Hey, Mick or Nick, look what I got. You'll like this. This is dried salmon from Haida Gwaii, a park up here. It used to be called the Queen Charlotte Islands, but it's Haida Gwaii. They speak Haida there, their own language. They were interesting people. I've studied them somewhat in great detail. Yeah. They were the only native nation to have their own navy. Can you believe that? Yeah, for real, dude. When they raided European ships here, like the Spanish came here. That's why you have British Columbia. That was part of Spain, right? Until there was a war, and then the British won, and so now it's British Columbia where I live, right? But the swivel guns and cannons, small cannons off the ships, when the Haida they would be in the slave trade, right? So then goods, whatever goods, so they would take the person like the armorist or someone like that alive, and to use as showing them how to use these weapons. They were smart people. And yeah, so they were the only native First Nations that had a navy in Canada. I don't know about the US. I think in North America, because but I'm not sure. But it was interesting that when they looked at white people, like the Russians and stuff that came here, they thought they were ghosts on floating islands. Hey, trip or what? Hey, so blessed. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, so they had a navy, which was very interesting. Yeah, I got a little excited there, but anyway, Haida Gwaii is a very pristine place. It's an ecological system nowhere else in the world. There's such an abundance of food. There's more food there, and pure food, real nutrients, real vibrations. Ooh, Howie, the computer shaking. Hey, Dave, maybe we should go fishing today. Hello, new folks coming in, getting the bacon on for the BLTs. Hey, Mac. Nice. Jenny, great morning to you. So blessed is here. Welcome. Hello, everyone in the chat. Yep. And hey, Dave Knight. Yeah, Dave Knight. So we're visiting Jen at Northern Girl Hobbies. Very cool channel. And it's really worthwhile going by. And, if you're going to watch some TV, if you've got YouTube on your TV, just flip it on Northern Girl Hobbies or Dave or anyone in here. and you get to see all their videos, right? What they're up to, their foraging, what's good eating. And these people look healthy, so they must be doing something right. Happy Mac, I could be wrong, but I believe they were also big into making specific beaches suitable for clam beds. Yes, 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 clam beds. I've seen them lots. They put strips of rock out into the ocean like this, and then so far away they put another strip of rock, and then the little clams are all in here where the sand congregates, right? And that's the perfect clam bed. And they were doing aquaculture. That was aquaculture. So you're quite right there. Who said that? Happy Mac. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. You can still go and harvest their clam beds. Hey, I know where there's lots of them, but only if there's an R in the month, and even that with the climate change a little bit here, it's too warm. So the red tide comes from an algae bloom. So you want cold temps when you go and find out if it's open, because the government here does testing at different beaches at different times, and they tell you if it's good to go on clamming on there, right? But mostly it is here. The pulp mills have closed a long time. Must be careful. Yeah. Shellfish poisoning. It ain't pretty, especially if you're older. You better have all your you better have your affairs in order, because it can be fatal. Shellfish poisoning. It's not pretty. Yeah. But there's a lot of bull kelp here. It's delicious, and there's salt here if you need to make your own salt. Clams, all kind of clams. There's a young couple that moved to the neighborhood like a year or two ago, and he goes out here with his board, his ocean board. He dives off, grabs crabs. Okay, no, most of us use a trap, right? Not this guy. I was impressed. I was like, well done. Could be wrong. Jen is great. Yes, very cool, very informative, and they have a good time. Always a good time. Nobody likes sticking their head in the yuck. No kidding, right? I see so many people getting clams and mussels in a noose during red tides. I wish them well, because if they get sick, it's going to be real bad. Well, the thing is, if they are, then it's already been tested that there's no red tide there. Hey, it's as simple as that. You don't have a built-in immunity against red tide, right? And there's a machine too that you can put clams in and stuff, or in oysters, or mussels, and it takes out that. Hey, that's how you get like mussels from Max oysters, which are pretty good all year round, right? There's a machine. I will have to harvest when I get home. Oh, gee, rough life there, Mr. Knight. I hope you're having a good time, buddy. Out and about. Hey, well done. Hey, you guys should go live, man. Yeah. I would be right there watching that. But now is the season that's the blessing time, right? So it's the season. So harvest away there, Mr. Knight. I am. I'm going to be harvesting a lot more during my hunger gap here. I'm going for the hunger gap. I want my own veggies during the hunger gap. Like, I eat a lot of cucumber and tomatoes, and sometimes eggplants. I like eggplant parmesan, right? But and I like my greens. But to go get some ground cherries fresh out of the greenhouse during the winter, I'm all over that. But tomatoes and cucumbers will grow here. Hey, Adrian, where are you then, Dave? Dave's out visiting other YouTuber friend. Yeah, very cool. Visiting Northern Girl Hobbies. Yeah. We have invasive European green crab here, right? We have it here too. We've got these and a bunch of different creatures now come here. Yeah, yeah. But there's these ghost crabs, these all white crabs. I'm like, what? I'm looking at it, like, sure they weren't hanging out at the pollutants near, Everett or or Seattle or something, where they got big military industrial complex. They're pumping shit out. Yeah. Second week on the road. Nice. I watched your video of your and then you sent a nice picture of the camping and stuff. And you're all rigged up there, hey, with your van, hey. That's the way to go, man. Adventure, adventure. Did I mention adventure? I mean, it doesn't get better than that. But I mean, you should be picking, partridge berries, I think, right about now in the bogs and stuff, or I would be. I think blueberries are probably good to go still, maybe, depending on how far north you are. If you go south, Blister and Jamie, look at that. I go to this channel. He has the coolest coins and rides. Ride with me. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie. He gets coins. People send him coins from all over the world, and then he finds them too. It's smart. Good to see you there, Blister. Yep, always a pleasure. Thank you kindly for all those thumbs up too. But putting a little bit of dried with a dehydrator, a solar one or electric, whatever, just drying a few apples or a few pears, or if you're drying watermelon, that's my favorite. If you got a watermelon that doesn't taste like watermelon, it doesn't taste like anything, just dehydrate it. Just put chunks in there and dehydrate it, and it takes on some pop, I'll tell you. It goes bang. This is watermelon, man. Yeah, I love watermelon. Jamie, my little brother. Yep. Jamie's very cool. Yeah, very cool channel. Cheers to Jamie. Good to see you, buddy. Yep. But, now's the time to put stuff away. Smoking a few fish. It's not always go out and buy, but forage, harvest, fishing. Even if you're trapping a few tree chickens to, like you're smoking your rainbow trout and canning it like this. See, can. This is the smoked. Yeah. Just a few jars. You don't have to have a lot, but at least you have something if there's nothing at the store. Just put a little bit of everything away. Dry some herbs. Grab your parsley. Make a little bundle. Wrap it and then tie it and hang it. Dill, lemon balm. Well, lemon balm doesn't dry very good, but other things like oregano, like little bunches. You don't need a lot. At least you have something to flavor something that you are eating out of a can or frozen food. At least you had some, you're kind of putting the oomph back into it. So I have a boat full of plants to take home. What kind of plants, Dave? Yum, a little vinegar on it and I'm happy. Yeah, right. I have like several kinds of vinegar. I have two types of rice vinegar. I have some red wine vinegar. I have some apple cider vinegar. I have some sherry vinegar. What else do I have for vinegar? A bunch of different vinegars. I like that. It's so healthy for you. It doesn't agree with me, balsamic vinegar, so I'm going to switch from my normal Basico. That's where I get mine from, Basico or something. Ambasico. It's from Italy. But I don't know. It kind of doesn't agree with me. I used to like putting that in a little Worcestershire in my beef soup, clear colored, but it didn't. Yeah. Yum, a little vinegar. Yep. Daniel Rain, we have been stocking up here and there for winter. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you got to do. It accumulates. A little bit here, a little bit there, accumulates. I always do a little bit extra because, some people are a little slow off the hop and you might have to help them. It's regrettable that you have to, a little bird with a pea-sized brain can get its food, build its own home, raise little ones, humans can't. It's kind of like, yeah, really? Good thing I have a bit of a beard so I can scratch myself. I think. But it's sad. A lot of humans, not all. I know some pretty cool humans on here right now and outside the YouTube that can look after themselves quite well, and they know about going without something and making sure to put a little bit away for later. It's important to get that regiment in a little bit. Like when I make soil every day, I take my kitchen scraps and some of the neighbors, and I've got them all trained. And I have it perfectly where I move the bark mulch over or sawdust or leaves, and I'm up higher. So I put everything into like a trench here, and then I just pull it over like that, and then I just keep moving over. So that way I don't have to dig anymore. I've got a system now that really works. So when I make my soil, I know I'm making the right choice for growing my veggies and fruit. I mean, I must be doing something right here at this food forest because everything's loaded every year. So this year I didn't get a lot of the early sugar plums. As a matter of fact, I think I might have had one sugar plum this year. And I'm like, crap. But that's probably a good thing. I'm diabetic. Right? But, a dehydrator, a little bit of water bath canning, skills to learn really goes a long ways. With you got real food throughout the year, and that's so important to have that real nutrient dense food. If you have, food that's not nutrient dense, then you're going to be in a lull. Like, when people grow food, like factories and stuff and farms, and they use chemicals to grow the food, that's all great and all. Like, I'm not trying to knock them. At least they're doing something. But the problem with it is not the same as when you grew it from your own soil that you made. I can eat food from the store and then I get sick within a month or two, but not really sick, kind of. Ugh. And then I can grow my own food, stick to my regimen, and I'm lifted. I'm like, oh, okay. But I mean, I've read lots of studies on it too, and information from billions of different people. But it's for real that if it has a right vibration, you're going to make out really well. You're going to stay healthy. And people like that are on here know that. They go out and they collect their berries, their blueberries and raspberries, and they grow their own potatoes, and they grow their own vegetables, and they go moose hunting or rabbit catching or trout fishing or salmon fishing, right? Because it's real food. It's the best food on the planet. Let's see what the chat's saying instead of Howie. I have a boat full of plants to take home. Oh, yeah. What kind of plants did you get, Mr. Dave? Yum, a little bit. Yep. We have been stocking up here and there for winter. Smart there, Danny and Lorraine. I'm going to be doing one last salmon smoke, because I don't like my salmon frozen for very long, unless it's whole. I put up a video on how to freeze fish whole. Like, don't even clean them, just just freeze them. I've had it up a few years. I've been doing that a few years. So when you do take it out of the freezer, it's just clean it and cook it. And there's no freezer burn. So it's really, really nice. Freeze dryer is also good. It saves the nutrients that heat will kill. Yes. Definitely, Verna, but so expensive to buy. Yeah, definitely, Vay, but well worth it. I bought mine about 5 years ago. Well worth it. Freeze dryer was a great investment. Cheaper at Costco here in Canada. Thanks, Jen, for mentioning that. I have been thinking about it. I just got freeze-dried candies. I know, right? I went to this wedding and they gave me there was a ceremony before the wedding, and they gave us candy, freeze-dried candy, and a golden pig. It was actually delicious, and they got me to cut it, and I'm like all nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I've never cut a pig up, a whole pig before. And I just never did that. And it felt very special, but I was a little nervous because for some reason I couldn't find my knife. And then my bag got rifled between the beach dock and home. Someone rifled my fishing bag and took some things, like just little things, but I still haven't, I have a favorite knife and it's missing. So bummer. I have a filleting knife still, so that's okay. But anyway, I cut up that pig, and I still have some of that frozen, but it was absolutely delicious. I must say, someone knows what they're doing. And yeah, we freeze our salmon whole too. Smart. Yeah, that's the only way for me. I ain't getting all that yellowy freezer burn. I haven't had that for years. Unless you're vacuum packing it, or when you freeze it, Hascaps thrown, Jen saved. Yes. Jen has lots of Hascaps there. Yeah, but freezing your salmon whole, it's amazing. And that's all I do. I still might like vacuum pack some. Like I've got to take out my herring soon and replace it. That'll be in February because I'll be getting another 50 or 60 pounds of herring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the herring that I have, I'm putting a pole in the ground, and that's where I'm going to grow something. And I'm going to put 1, 2, or 3 herring in the ground about this far down and stagger them off. And I'm putting a pole there. So when I grow a tomato, I'm going to be growing it right there. It'll be all decomposed when I grow anything there. And it's funny because I see these people, they have worm bins. It's so cute. They're making this worm bin, and it's permaculture and stuff, and it's really cool. It gets really great soil or worm castings. It's beautiful. And they feed them. And here, the food forest is one giant worm farm because there's so much that goes in here that they have plenty to eat and consume. And that you keep the bugs fed that way, like the landiopods and stuff. They eat all that stuff, like those little roly-poly pill bugs and whatnot. They all feed on that stuff, and it's really neat to see this giant worm bin, this food for us, because wherever I put the spade in the ground, it's alive, it's crawling and moving, and that's what I want. I want that, right? I want that. And I sit outside, and little lizards go, and they're eating the flies, hey, the little mosquitoes, and they're like, they're from like that to that lizards, hey. They're invasive species, but I don't stay up all night thinking about those invasive species lizards. I like them. They eat mosquitoes. Yes. Not that we have a mosquito problem around here, because we just don't. There are mosquitoes if you go up to the swamp, but I ain't going there. Worms are good for the garden. Yep. Worms are the best. And the thing is we have ones here called the night crawler, and he's giant, hey. And what you do is you thread it on the hook, Mick, and thread it onto the line. And you put a little tiny weight up a little ways from it, and then with a cork bobber, and we do some steelheading with that, hey. Yeah. You just run that through a little run in the river, and when you see that cork bobber that goes down quick, you got a hit, right? Because if you don't pull, it doesn't set; it just spits it back out, unless it's a monster. And then you generally let the does go. You don't want the doe, right? Now you're not allowed to use in a lot of most places. I think all places you're not allowed to use live bait no more. Can't use the roe or anything, but unless you're a certain person in this world, some people get the opportunity to do it, some people don't. So, but I've used the K3 wobbler, and that'll be coming up too. And I've caught cohos and chums on that K3, and then the odd steelhead will grab it. But then in the middle of winter, the river's going this way. You throw straight across the river, bring it down through the pool, then up through the pool with the K3 wobbler. The blue and silver one I like, and I'll bottom bounce that too. And but yeah, if you got a worm threaded onto that as well, a piece of salmon roe, man, the action's fast. And yeah, but it's a lot of fun, the harvest season. And everything's harvest right up to, oh gee, my last harvest here are kiwi in late November, early December. That's what I do last. And I always harvest before they ripen so I can put them in one of the crispers. And that way I don't have soft mushy kiwi. I have the nice firm kiwi. And I'll get a lot this year. And I let them go right through the fig trees. I've got to do some chop and drop this year, some serious chop and drop. But anyway, a little bit goes a long ways. Get up and grow, make your soil, and keep a smile on your face, and laugh, man, laugh as much as you can. This world can be beautiful or it can be cruel. You try to stick with the beautiful. Okay, but I shall let you all go, and thank you all for being here. Much love, mad respect. Dave Knight, Jen at Northern Girl Hobbies, thank you for being here. See you, Mandy. Talk to you soon. Bye.